Hi, and welcome to the Divinely Inspired Woman podcast. I am your host, Patricia Wald-Hopkins. I am a modern mystic, and I am here to share with you the beautiful wisdom and stories from women that desire to lead their lives inspired by the divine within them. The divinely inspired woman is devoted to walking the path of her soul's calling, tuning into the divinity within to navigate life with ease and grace through all circumstances. She cultivates beauty in her daily life. She is here to share the most authentic self each day through thick and thin. So I hope you enjoy our show today and that you will leave with an infusion of inspiration for your soul and for your day and living your life. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Divinely Inspired Woman. I'm your host, Patricia Wald-Hopkins, and I'm here with a lovely guest, Selma Harwell. Thank you for joining me here today. We're going to talk a little bit about an upcoming chapter that you have in a collaborative book by Radhaa Publishing House called Stories of the Goddess, the Divine Feminine Frequency Holders. And your chapter is called
Earth Goddess.
Earth Goddess. Yes. Yes. And so, but before we dive into that discussion, I'm just going to introduce you a little bit here, a little bit about you for our audience.
Okay.
It looks like, you have you had an early trauma that caused you to leave your body at an age of 4. Wow.
Yeah.
Called
It called me to faith.
It called you to faith. Wow. I'm like, being with that.
Yeah.
That is a significant event in your life, and definitely want to ask you a little bit more about that.
Sure.
So you feel like you've been immersed in the arms of the divine.
That was then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was the first of many activations and blessings in your life. You rediscovered the memory that had brought the wisdom, recalled in your self-guided yoga sabbatical at 21. So you had another divine experience at 21 is what I'm gathering. Is that true?
Yes, and I had several before. It's the one at 21 that was a bigger awakening, though.
Okay.
As an adult. Yeah.
Right.
Finally.
Yeah. And you're a born creative soul in art and spirituality. And you've been fortunate to have art in public grade school.
Yeah, all through.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you've been influenced in fashion design by your mother, who sewed for you and your
3
sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that's the best environment to help develop styles and be fulfilled. And let's see what else. The love of squishing tiny fistfuls of finger paints at age 5 showed up as an adult designing clay pottery that expressed your magical heart and indigenous shaman's lineage. Your commitment to the world is that motherhood is honored as the source for transformed family health and for global peace. That sounds so rich and beautiful. Thank you for being here. I want to start asking you with
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. No, this is so great to get to meet, women who are part of this book. But what brought you to this book, to sharing, this divine inspiration that you hold within you?
Well, I've been fortunate to know Radhaa since 2008.
Oh, wow.
And I got to teach her and her mom Reiki, and also another method that we do together, Katawa.
Okay.
So yeah, that was, just a beautiful beginning. And to be a part of this, I just call them movements because everything's moving right now. I'm
Mhm.
moving right now out of a
Right.
home. And so, yeah, it keeps me moving. Yeah, just to be a part of honoring women,
Mm,
and the divine, especially as divine, as the divinity that we are here on the planet, that gets missed easily.
mhm,
And so I've had lots of drive to be with women.
mhm.
My what happened when I was a child had me want to be safe with women. I was
Oh.
already in that pocket with my mom and two sisters,
Mhm.
and just always ran with a group of women in junior high and high school, another one, and just continually learned midwifery with a few moms, and home birth. Just
Wow.
constantly doing that, and later another group of women creating ceremony monthly for 18 years.
Wow.
So it's, gotta happen in my life. And it's all connected to the shamanic lineage. We
Mm,
studied with women,
mhm.
13 women with a female shaman also
Oh,
first,
wow. Beautiful.
before others. And yeah, it's um I do love being a woman. And I've been married for 54 years. I mean, with my husband 54, married 52, I guess. And
Wow.
so there's that whole aspect of like being in the marriage and
Mhm.
working that through too,
Yeah.
and not just supporting the family, but I mean, he's part of the family and he supports me. As it's so funny because one of the first teachings was man is of the sky, woman is of the earth.
Mhm.
He's here to uplift her and she's here to ground him. And we
Oh,
definitely take turns.
right?
It's like, because he's there to uplift me, that grounds me. And so then I get
Oh,
to be that strength for him too. And I think it's very equal that is needed in a spiritual relationship. So yeah.
I love that you say that. It is. You need both sides. Yeah. Both sides
Yeah,
doing their
we're
part.
yes, we're working on our both sides, the feminine and the
Mhm.
masculine, and we're working on and of course, we got to include them too.
You got to include, they balance everything out.
We got to include them to include us. It's
That's
kind of
right.
like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you have really had some rich experiences, in your life, with the divine and working with the shamanistic lineages. And I don't want you to tell what your chapter, the give away the details of the
No,
of
well,
your
I think
chapter, but can you tell us me a little bit about
I
your life
know.
and yeah.
Sure. I know I got a little carried away because what I meant to say too with about Radha, because I started with that, was, just that for her to be able to do this for so many women is just, um, I just love it. It's just one more way to have it in the world when it tends to be kind of a given that moms, are moms,
Right.
instead of really getting, what we can cause on the planet as moms, and through the families. And so I'm sorry, I forgot that last question you asked. I just wanted to try to get the other one in one sentence.
That's fine. It's all
Yeah.
whatever, it's all in flow to me. I
Okay.
I'm not sure if I think you kind of answered that, but I
Oh
was asking
yeah.
you to just share a little bit more about um
The chapter, right?
the chapter, but not give
Yeah.
away the details. But
Oh,
what,
for sure.
what
Yeah.
does that chapter mean for you? The earth
Mm.
goddess. I mean, that could be really, a varied exploration of a lot of different things, but
It turned out to be really what it
mhm,
happened was I took it on, and then because knowing, well, of course, I haven't fully embraced that that part of me, like, and I mean, yes, I feel like I was already living that way, but not like calling it that, and
Mm-hmm.
just wear it that way for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh yeah, where are the places that I'm already living as a goddess? And they just started showing up, and
Oh,
so that was the gift of it. And then that led me, to go, well, which one am I going to share? What am I going to share? And then when I thought of the grounded goddess, was because the chapter is about the hugging saint, Amma.
oh,
And
oh.
and you and I talked about, a lot of extraordinary experiences that I've had, spiritual experiences, activations, and Amma's was one of them. Um,
Mm.
and that was about, I think I was about 38 when that happened, to get my first
Wow.
hug. And it's just sharing that magical experience combined with tapping into the connections that I had with women for 18 years in ceremonies together. And all of it is
Mm.
connected to my lineage, as the introduction said. And yeah, so there is, you called it richness, and I appreciate that. I maybe because it was starting when I was a little girl, I always think of
Yeah.
it as magical.
That was the next word I was going to use.
Yeah.
Magically rich.
Oh, right.
Because the earth is magical. I mean, yeah,
Oh,
earth
isn't it?
goddess is definitely about earth magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the earth. Um, I love that it almost feels like it's and you can correct me if I'm not tapping in right, but it's like a sharing of mm, your legacy, or the richness of that legacy that you've lived, and honoring all of that whole process,
Yes.
and so that other people can see that they could have that too.
Yes. I love that you said it that way too. Yeah, that's exactly all it's ever for.
Yeah,
All our gifts that we receive are just like, okay, how does it get passed on? And just, however we want, whatever we create. That's also the other part of motherhood, the nurturing and the creation. Oh my gosh,
nurturing and the
that's
creation.
the best. That is the part that has me love being a woman. Yeah.
Nurturing and the creation, the big hugs, right? The mama hugs, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you're the second person that I've talked to in the last probably couple of weeks that has mentioned her.
Mm,
So I'm thinking,
yeah. Well, yes. And where do you live? Because
uh, I live in northern New Mexico, so near Santa Fe.
oh my God.
Yeah, I
That's where
was
my
born in
dream.
Santa Fe. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I think you
Yeah.
told me that, and I'm so happy
Yeah.
you reminded me, because I
Yeah.
lived for 25 years in New Mexico.
Oh, you
I consider
did?
New Mexico my home, even though I wasn't
Okay.
raised there or born there. I miss it all the time. And
Oh,
here I'm on a blessed property, 3/4 acres, and now we're leaving it. It's a beautiful time, and we thought we would be here, and it's time to go.
yeah.
And I just keep dreaming of going back to New Mexico. Yeah. So,
Well, if you ever come near where I'm at, I hope I get to give you a hug.
yes. And I have some place to invite you to. I'll tell you later.
Okay, wonderful. So I wanted to ask you a couple more questions
Okay.
about this
Sure.
this wonderful chapter that you have written. And I think you probably have touched on this already, but Radhaa and her publishing house, they have set this up in such a way, to raise this frequency, right, of the divine feminine, through this collaboration. How do you feel that it has supported you? I mean, what is it, what about it has been so special for you?
Yeah. Well, definitely, I want to talk about the serendipity,
Okay.
because whenever she had invited me, then I had already had a sign, because
Mm.
I had designed a Goddess Glow bathing experience, and that's what I'd called it. And because I've just done bathing for eons, it seems, and like 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Working with teens and just needing to take care of myself before I went and did that. Troubled teens,
Uh-huh.
even, not
Trouble
just,
team. Yeah.
you
Uh-huh.
yeah. And so, and then I had already, channeled a poem. So I got to include that
Mm.
with my chapter
Oh,
as well.
yay.
Yes. So, I have led my life. mm, and I'm saying I led it. No, I've been led.
Mm.
Um, and really didn't see that until I was 60. And I think there's something I just heard recently, that there's a switching in the brain that happens at 60. And
Oh.
I already suspected, I thought maybe I saw how my life had unfolded, and it
Mm-hmm.
kept going that way, seeing the connections. And I'd always
Mm-hmm.
had the memories, but I'd never connected them in the flow.
Oh.
And this woman even wrote a book about connections and stuff. But she said, what happens is there's a shift in the brain, like obviously that's not my work and I'm not describing it well, but there is
Mm-hmm.
a shift in the brain that happens at that time. And it has us begin to like open up and be even more creative than we've ever been. And it just keeps
Mm.
expanding from there. So, yeah, I'm 71. That's still in that most
Yeah.
creative period, and it'll continue and on into the 80s. And I just
Wow.
can't wait. So all of that gets to be opening up right now, more and more serendipity. So it got to be a part of that. Also, it's helping me with my writing. It had me choose to be in a writing class that I've been
Mm.
writing 5 days a week for since August.
Wow.
And yes,
That is
and
awesome.
I
Yeah.
know, and getting a structure towards my own books,
Yeah.
which have, I was writing one and then I stopped it to do this chapter. And what I
Mm-hmm.
saw later was that it doing this chapter helped me open up to the structure of the other one. It's called Starway to Heaven, and we don't have to go into it yet and everything, but it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so it will be out, and I have another one too, but yeah.
I can feel that that creativity flowing. You're very prolific. You're going to be very prolific here with books and writing
Yes.
for the
Yes.
next the next long while, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Did you always know that you wanted to write? Have you always been, interested in that? Or is this something that's just come
I
to you?
one of the things I looked back and saw was that well, I always loved what reading was natural. I loved,
Mm-hmm.
English. I did excel in that, not math.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend, anyway, cousin, friend,
Yeah.
we didn't live in the same place, and we wrote letters for 5 years, and they were like 12 and 13-page letters. And I thought, oh, that was part of my development as a writer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've
Yeah.
always journaled and stuff. And so there's an enjoyment about writing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that happens.
Yeah. I love writing
Yeah.
too. Um, this, my sense with this group of women that are in this particular book, that
Mhm.
there's something, an underlying theme or frequency that we're building together, right? That we're going to
Yes.
be sharing together, and how important,
True.
that is for activating other people. But is there something, you know, um, in your experience, I know you do, gather in groups and with women and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
What have you seen like a huge, like almost a quantum, transformational energy when women gather like that? Because
Yeah, of course. Yes. My
I had to
other,
put that in there because I
yay, I'm
know you would
glad
know.
because, yeah. it's perfect because again, our shaman, uh, being female, she said there's nothing more powerful than a group of women unless it's a group of pregnant women.
Oh boy.
So that's so awesome. And then the other thing, I have done a group of women sharing frequencies and sending healing for many years on the phone and constant miracles. And then we finally moved on to a group in Messenger.
Okay.
And yeah, it's really what one of my favorite teachings is, I call it compounding the energy. It's going to happen anyway,
Right.
but women particularly, we're just so giving. And it's not excluding men from this, from
Right.
any healing at all. It's a
Yeah.
human gift that we all have.
Mm-hmm.
And if women are the ones that are going to bring it as an everyday thing, and it already is if we call it prayer,
Right.
but I think it's helpful for me when I call it intention. And like I said, my faith was pretty relentless because of being held in the arms of the divine. However, it hasn't, I like to talk about it broadly. I want to be including, as much as possible, not just, that it be Christian or that it be God,
Right.
or that it be, yeah. And so Mother Earth is just a beautiful way to speak of it also, I think,
Yeah, she embraces us all, doesn't
embraces
she?
it, the sun, include all the elements. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what I call it is compounding the energy, because that word is already understood in the world of finances. So, but
That's true.
it is. You and I are combining our energies right now, and our energies are compounded just from being together. So anybody does this, it occurs all the time. So when you add that with intention and direct it, and you have frequencies that you know how to send, it just is, yeah. And I'll tell you, I don't stop there. I have different methods. I combine different frequencies. I have the little appliance to add. It's just like the more the merrier. It's just, why not? Yeah.
I love it. It's like cooking, right?
Yes, it is. It's so
That's
playful.
it's
Yes,
very
I love
playful.
cooking. That's a
Love
great
cooking,
analogy.
mixing frequent alchemy, right? Alchemy at its
Yeah.
finest. I've noticed that as I've been speaking to, some of the women in this that are part of this book, and including myself, that we all seem to be alchemists.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think women in general are, and so are men, but I think there's a different kind of alchemy that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I feel
There
the
is. It's
power of
different
that.
than theirs. They have theirs, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not even that separation. It's so funny because, again, the human part is so important,
Yeah,
and it already has us be equal.
right.
And the polarization, it has its purpose also, not just in men and women, but even in what's happening on the planet
That's
right
true.
now. So
Yeah, it's through the contrast that we sometimes can receive, yeah, the
yeah, and come
wisdom,
back to the
and
balance,
come back to the unity and the balance.
the
Yeah.
unity that's already there. That's the
Mm-hmm.
best word, is the unity. Yeah,
The
because
unity.
we're one. We just trick
Because we're
ourselves
one.
all the time and we forget.
We do forget. We do, because we get distracted by things, and it's always wonderful to have, to speak with people like you. And I mean, my heart just feels so warm. And then you have, then we create these books, or these magical books, tools, whatever you want to call them, that remind people, right? Get them out of the
Yes.
Maya, get them out of the
Yeah. And what do I do all day long is set myself up to remember all day long, because I forget all day long.
Yeah.
It's just, we're gonna go off because that's, um,
That's human.
That is, like you said, just it's the, you can call it the trickster also. It's the Maya.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a human. I
Having
love
that.
what you said about, the brain chemistry, and because I do believe that it starts to shift, like, even as you're growing up, right? I mean, I noticed when I was 30, it shifted, and then again at 40, and then at 50, and now you're talking about the 60, and I'm like, oh boy, this is
Yeah.
this is going to be an adventure. I
Well,
love it.
I'm glad you brought that back up, because now you had me remember that the shift that happens in the brain at 60 is like the one that happens during the teens.
Oh,
And as women, we kind of think that that's, you kind of think of like, what kind of a trick was that? Have moms often be in menopause when the girls are teens. I was like, makes it a little more exciting, let's say, and a
right.
challenge for both at that time. But that's shifting too. But if it's similar to what the teens are going through, that is actually a point of expanded creativity
I
for
see that.
children, for teens, I want to say specifically. And that it is part of the reason they need more stimulus. It's part of the reason they go to I'm bored. And it's also part of the reason that they start being attracted to brain stimulus like drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. And of course, athletics and all kinds of other ways are available for that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it just all makes sense. And the troubled teens that I worked with, most of them were so talented. And I knew that the public schools just weren't up to, supplying them with what the stimulus they needed.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I
And that
agree
wasn't
with that
all, of
still.
course,
Mhm,
it's the background and what's going on at home and all that stuff.
mhm.
Yeah. So, and I got
Yeah,
to teach
that's
them
true.
art, and which
Mm.
included pottery and sewing um and yoga. I got to teach them too. And they didn't want to do it, but they did. And they got
But yeah, I mean, if I'm remembering when I was a teenager, and my daughter who is now, like, I just naturally knew I needed to be able to channel my energy at that age. And I didn't know what that meant. And I didn't have a lot of creativity options. So
hmm,
I ran. I mean, I was a runner, and
right.
I ran a lot. But it was when I think hit my 30s, I had this shift, and like creativity started, like, becoming the way I channeled more,
Ah,
rather than that more
okay.
like so I think
That's
what
why you
what you're
noticed it
saying
then.
is, like, women and men too, we have to have something to channel our energy
Yeah,
into.
I actually even thought of it more as energy, maybe because
It
I
should be a
lived as an
channel.
artist. Yeah, well, that too. Because I lived as an artist, and so I didn't notice the spurts of the creativity that seemed to be
Hmm.
continuous. But I did notice that as parents, that's the time to where, guess what? You're doing so much in the 30s and the 40s. You're just like, and whether you're a parent or not, that because my
Hmm.
kids are in that mode also, life just really has you just go, 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 go. And um, and I mean, I'm going plenty now, but it's a different thing. It's a
Yeah.
little easier, I think, then to get in the place of like, well, I'll say it this way. It's when I learned that overdoing it was going to need some downtime.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've had that
Otherwise,
lesson.
I, yeah, that's when I started figuring that out.
Yeah.
But I see it in my kids, and they don't have kids. So it's not just parenting. So it was
Okay.
more like what age that you were
It's
talking
just
about.
the age. It's just, yeah,
And
I
the
love
energy.
that.
Yeah.
The energy,
Um,
and the biochemistry. And I
Yes.
love to talk about that because I studied that. So I just always like to bring it back to that and
Yeah.
understand it. Although it's not necessary, it's just fun. But
Yeah.
I know that this book is going to be on pre-sale here on the 23rd. And I
Yes. It's
also,
very,
yeah,
um,
I'm
maybe
excited.
the
Yeah,
same
very
day this is
excited
just
about
showing,
that.
right? It could be
Yeah.
shown that day.
Yeah, it could. I hope it will be showing that day. Yes, that's the
Yeah.
plan. So if you're hearing this, I'm hoping it's March 23rd.
Right. And it's the day to go purchase it on
And it's the
Amazon.
day to go purchase it. But I also want to take a moment and, give you an opportunity to tell people how they can reach out to you or learn more about you.
Okay. Yes. I see. Yes, that's the tricky part of just like I have 3 places, and
Okay.
one of them is ReikiYogaMagic.com, and
Okay.
that's my website.
Okay.
There's a little upgrade that's happening with it right now, but it will be available like by tomorrow.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it's just been a glitch for a couple of days. And then, well, I shouldn't even say that because this will be later.
Yeah. We're in the
It's just
future. We're
available.
already in the
Okay?
future.
It's just available. Yay. I'm so glad it's available.
And I'll have
Great.
this written up in the
Okay.
description. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
ReikiYogaMagic.com. And the other is my movement with women.
Okay.
That's called Healthy Moms, Healthy World. It's really
Okay.
simple.
Okay.
And I'll have the link available with this as well.
Yes.
Healthy
Yes.
Moms, Healthy World. It's a Facebook page, and
Okay.
so you can go right to it. And since I don't have the link, I can say it's the link says Healthy World, Healthy. I'm sorry, Healthy Moms, Healthy World now. It's going to be a // now. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
Great.
also a duplication or something happened.
Okay.
I will say right now, technology is so fun. No, it's really taken something to get to the place of having fun with it.
Yeah.
And it is kind of a continuous, I don't want to put that out there either. I constantly work with the technology. And actually, I'm learning that even people that are techie go through everything, that we go through. They just aren't frustrated by it. For them, it's totally fun. And so learning to make it fun.
Yeah. Learning new ways of navigating through information and making connections. And
Yes, that's
they're
beautiful.
the kids are just so used. It's like more natural.
Oh,
in their brains.
like breathing.
Right. Yeah. So they breathe it. Yeah. That's the digital age.
Yeah.
But I really, really appreciate you spending time with me here today. And I loved receiving your goddess frequency, your earth goddess frequency. It's just really been a pleasure. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And I just love it that we have so much in common, which is what we're discovering with the
Right.
women in the book, like you said.
Yeah, we were called together for a reason, to transmit a particular compounded frequency, as I think what you said.
Yes, thank you. Oh, that sounds familiar. Great.
Yeah. So yes, everyone, get your copy of this book and read Selma's chapter and all of the other chapters in there, and receive that that frequency to, just really enhance your experience of life. I think that's what
Getting in touch with your goddess within.
Getting in touch with your goddess within. Thank you again, everyone, for listening in. Until next time, stay divinely inspired. Much love.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Divinely Inspired Woman. Again, I am your host, Patricia Wald-Hopkins, and I am so glad that you joined us here today. I hope you left with some soul food to inspire your daily life. And if you would like to learn more about my work, please check out my website, patriciawaldhopkins.com, and you can find out more about my divinely inspired practice and tools. So, thank you again. Have a beautiful day. Hi, I'm dropping in here with an announcement about a program, a new mentorship that I am offering. It's called Voices of Gaia, and it's about bringing your voice, your leadership, your life in alignment with Gaia's guidance. So if you feel called to learn more about this program, it's a beautiful, rich program where we dive into your essence. And if you so desire, we develop your business around it and really blossom into your whole lifestyle, this wisdom from Gaia that wants to be spoken through you. So if you feel called, reach out to me at patricia@patriciawaldhopkins.com. That's patricia@patriciawaldhopkins.com. There's no hyphen between Wald and Hopkins. And I would just love to hear from you and see if this is a good fit. So thank you for tuning in. Have a beautiful day.